The list of new films streaming on Hulu in June is heating up just in time for summer, so make the most of your vacation by checking out all of this intriguing new material. Immerse yourself in the latest movies and shows, including the premieres of Hulu original films and series such as False Positive, Love, Victor, Season 2, and more, all of which will be available in the coming weeks. Other notable titles to keep an eye on this month include Willys Wonderland, Dave, Season 2, and the New York Times presents Who Gets to Be an Influencer. In today's video, we are going to cover some of the best new releases coming to Hulu this year, more specifically this month. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Deadpool. Deadpool's cocksure smarm, potty mouth, and abhorrence for the fourth wall became features of the Marvel Cinematic Universe when Fox's intellectual property was sucked up by the Disney beast. And it's probably a good thing because the scatological humor and purposefully R-rated gunplay and brutality that the first Deadpool hung its mask on would flood the stodgy MCU with the saltiness and profanity it so often could use. Reynolds was crucial in getting this version of the Deadpool character off the ground. He was involved in the writing process and pushed for it to stick to the original comics characteristics. Despite certain sophomoric moments, Deadpool emerges as a rather unique superhero film, adeptly bending the genre into more primal action movie shapes while Reynolds himself rattles on his characteristic caustic prattle. Morena Baccarin has his brassy fiancée and Brianna Hildebrand as the improbably titled Negasonic teenage warhead round out Reynolds' impressive supporting cast. Run was one of the films from 2020 that got caught up in the global health situation release/format whirlpool. Originally slated for a Mother's Day premiere, it wound up on Hulu, where it has since become the streaming platform's most popular original film. Sarah Paulson plays Diane Sherman, the mother of Chloe, Kira Allen, a frail high schooler with a slew of illnesses and abnormalities. Diane adores Chloe, but it's evident from the start that not everything is as it seems. And as Run progresses, a battle between mother and daughter ensues to figure out what's actually going on and whether Chloe was ever truly ill. Run is a satisfyingly twisty watch that matches well with the newest in contemporary horror. Throw all of that against the wall and toss in a twist ending that's been a social media craze, and you've got yourself a watch that's been a social media phenomenon. Willys Wonderland. Nicolas Cage is willing to do anything these days, for better or for worse. So here's a film in which he's imprisoned in an abandoned family fun center and pursued by murderous mascots. You can expect to watch this new film in mid-June 2021. He also doesn't speak in it. Willys Wonderland is an American action comedy horror film directed by Kevin Lewis and based on a script by G.O. Parsons. It was released in 2021. Nicolas Cage, Emily Tosta, Rick Reitz, Chris Warner, Kai Kadlick, Christian Del Grosso, Kaylee Cohen, Tara Lee Hill, Jonathan Mercedes, David Sheftel, and Beth Grant star in the picture. It tells the story of a peaceful vagrant who is duped into cleaning up an abandoned family entertainment center that is plagued by 8 evil animatronic figures. The movie was announced in October 2019, and screenwriter Parsons based it on this 2016 short film, Wally's Wonderland, which was also the script's initial title. It piqued Cage's interest, and he agreed to engage as both an actor and a producer shortly after. Lewis was brought on board as director in December 2019, and the rest of the cast joined in February 2020. Due to its shared idea with the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, the film had a minor cult following prior to its debut. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant is one of those films that will make you cry, but you'll probably come away feeling renewed and optimistic, even if the sniffles take a while to go away. Brad Bird's 1999 animated adventure isn't afraid to go deep and deep up in your feelings, exploring what it means to kill, what it means to save a life, and what makes a hero against the backdrop of Cold War paranoia, the wow factor of a giant robot from space, and the earnest innocence of a sweet young boy named Hogarth Marienthal. It all starts when Hogarth meets and forms a lovely friendship with the Iron Giant, an awe-inspiring space robot who eats metal, wields a Swiss Army knife-style array of incredible gadgets, and has an extraordinary ability to fix himself. And everything is fine until his newfound friend catches the attention of the American military. The Iron Giant investigates how weapons feel about the horrific things we do with them and provides some rather dismal responses. Yet, it still maintains a sense of hope throughout. It's also a gorgeous piece of hand-drawn animation with scenes so beautiful that I'm wondering why there aren't any awards for lighting in animation. Blast from the past. Blast from the Past is a sweet, silly, sometimes very funny take on the familiar fish-out-of-water comedy that Frasier was so utterly triumphant in during his peak Brendan Fraser era. Ever may he reign. This time, Frasier plays Adam, the son of an eccentric scientist, Christopher Walken, who, after becoming certain of a nuclear bomb strike, trapped himself and his wife, Sissy Spacek, in their lovely, meticulously equipped bunker for 30 years. But it wasn't a bomb that hit their house. Instead, it was a plane that had crashed. So a decade later, when Adam returns to the surface, he arrives in 1990s Los Angeles, dashing and ignorant. It's a refreshing take on the man out of time trope, elevated by Frasier's singular knack for endearing oddity and the magnetic chemistry he shares with Silverstone, though there are a few yikes-worthy dated jokes in the mix. They're the product of characters who are clueless rather than cruel. A refreshing spin on the man out of time trope that's elevated by Frasier's singular knack for endearing oddity and the magnetic chemistry he shares with Silverstone. Changing the game. This intimate story follows 3 high school players from throughout the United States, each at a different point of their sporting careers and revealing their experiences as transgender teenagers. Mac Beggs, our primary character, made headlines last year when he won the Texas State Championship in female wrestling as a young boy. He was hailed as a hero by some while receiving scorn and threats from others for defying Texas State policy and attracting world media attention. As Mac and his family negotiate the media and this year's state wrestling tournament, the stormy press around his accomplishment continues to pull him in numerous directions. Love, Victor. Love, Victor is an American teen comedy drama streaming television series produced by Isaac Apteker and Elizabeth Berger, based on the 2018 film Love, Simon, and set in the same universe. Hulu debuted the series on June 17, 2020. Apteker and Berger serve as showrunners for 20th Television, which produces the show. It stars George Sear, Rachel Hilson, B.B. Wood, Anthony Turpo, Isabella Ferreira, Anna Ortiz, James Martinez, Mason Gooding, Mateo Fernandez, and Michael Cimino, who plays Victor, a teen from a half Puerto Rican, half Colombian American family living in Atlanta. The series is produced and narrated by Nick Robinson, who played Simon in the original film. Filming in Los Angeles began in August 2019. The sitcom got renewed for a second season in August 2020, with a premiere date of June 11, 2021. Come True. On June 11th, Hulu will release one of the last year's great horror films, and it's a low-key masterpiece. Come True is a movie from Anthony Scott Burns, the filmmaker of the best piece in 2016's horror anthology, Holidays, and he proves he's the real deal. The film follows an adolescent who is battling with problems at home and in her brain, as her nights spiral into dreams that foreshadow something far worse. It's a bold, scary experience with plenty of atmosphere and style, as well as a compelling score by Burns as Pilot Priest, and a terrific lead performance by Julia Sarah Stone. False Positive. When you think of Ilana Glazer, you probably think of comedy, but occasionally comedians feel compelled to go dark, and we can't help but follow them. False Positive on June 25th stars Glazer as a woman whose attempts to conceive land her and her husband Justin Theroux at Dr. Hindle's, Pierce Brosnan's, clinic. Hindle is a lead in David Cronenberg's utero horror The Brood, 1979, but things take a dark turn after their child is born. While it isn't being marketed as a comedy, Gretchen Mol and Josh Hamilton co-star, and we're looking for a delightful slice of genre thrills. Charlotte's Web, the original. Your kids would probably prefer the nicer 2006 live-action/CG hybrid version, but the original Charlotte's Web in 1973 is the one to see, my friends. Debbie Reynolds plays the animated spider, and she's joined by Paul Lynde, Henry Gibson, Agnes Moorehead, and others from the 1970s. The story is just as warm and tragic as you remember it being, and the hand-drawn animation masterfully depicts the characters and heart. And there you have it, Hulu and all the new releases coming this 2021. We can't wait for these great films and series to drop. This year has been pushing out greats. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.